Welcome to this Fendt Rogator 600 Walkaround. My name is Jim Ubachs and I'm a sales engineer for the Fendt sprayer. The sprayer is the most important machine on your farms and probably also does the most work each year. The sprayer ensures high yields, high quality and healthy crops. To do all this, we need a machine built for efficiency and quality. That's why we have developed the Fendt Rogator. The machine comprised three different models: the 635 with 4 cylinders and 175 horsepower, the 645 with 6 cylinders and 224 horsepower, and the 655 with 6 cylinders and 242 horsepower. We have a choice between a 4,000 liter or 5,000 liter tank. We can also fit a 6,000 liter tank onto the 655. Regarding the boom, we can offer boom widths of 24 meters to 36 meters for each model. Our first stop is the chassis. This is not directly visible but very important for the machine. Our chassis consists of a single beam frame. This allows each machine component, for example the engine, to be fitted in the ideal position. The engine is fitted in such a way that it sits as low as possible in the chassis to lower the center of gravity. This is very important for the balance of the machine. As we see, the single beam frame also gives us plenty of room for a 35-degree steering angle with 50 inches tires, which gives us a highly maneuverable machine. Another advantage is that less damage is caused to the crops on a headland. Through the arrangement of the various parts, we have a 50-50 weight distribution at the front and back, as well as left and right, to keep the machine as stable as possible. Stability is essential for a steady boom. A steady boom is essential on a sprayer. Here we see the engine, and we have three engine variants in the Rogator series. The 635 with 4 cylinders and 175 horsepower, the 645 with 6 cylinders and 224 horsepower, and the 655, which we see here and which has 6 cylinders and 242 horsepower. The engine is always positioned here at the bottom of the machine. One major benefit of this is the low center of gravity and the distance of the engine from the cab. The noise level in the cab therefore remains very low. The position here is also ideal for full maintenance because it's very accessible. If we take off the cover now, we can clearly see the position of the engine and the AdBlue injection system because the machine meets the Tier 4 final emission standard. If the filters need to be changed, the mudguard can be removed here without the need for tools. And you can then directly access the diesel and oil filter from the side. Maintenance is therefore quick and maintenance times are short. Another advantage here is the patented engine mounting, which reduces vibrations in the chassis to a minimum. What else do we need to see? If you remember the TMS system from the Fendt tractors, then you'll be pleased to hear that this machine also has it. In this machine we call it CDS Control Drive System. That means the gearbox and pump only use the power which they actually need. And all this at as low a speed as possible to save fuel and keep the noise level to a minimum. That's a unique feature on the sprayer market. We have just discussed the engine, so now we're looking up above it here, but why? It's because our cooler unit for the engine is installed here. Why have we done this? The reason is that there is much less dust and no leaves from, for example, flowering oilseed rape. And so the entire cooler unit cover stays clean. The big advantage is, of course, increased efficiency. We can take a look at this here. Complete cooler units are arranged on top of each other and not in a row, which ensures greater efficiency. We've done the same with the air filter. This is also positioned here at the top. As a result, it is exposed to very little dust, and this in turn means longer maintenance intervals. However, if you do need to change the filter, it is easily accessible. This cab is the new Eco Vision cab, specially developed for self-propelled machines. Please feel free to have a look inside the cab to see for yourselves the well-designed, comfortable workspace. We do, of course, have Category 4 certification for this sprayer, which is standard for our sprayers. In addition, we have an automatic air conditioning system for comfort, radio with hands-free kit, highway bars for putting your feet up during long work days, and, as we're talking about long work days, we need something to keep ourselves going, of course. So we have a spacious fridge here, which can easily hold 1.5-liter bottles. Next on to the control and operation of the machine. We have the familiar Fendt armrest. You can see here that you have direct access to all key functions and that the OptiControl joystick has all the functions which we use all the time during the spraying process. Everything is assigned symbols which are designed and developed specifically for a sprayer. This is in contrast to our competitors, many of whom use combine harvester diagrams. If we take a look at the terminal, we can see two of them. One is used for all sprayer functions. The second is used for the Vario Dock and Vario Guide options and also provides the option of having complete control over the chassis and to view the camera image. We then have, of course, the lighting control panel at the top here, together with a memory function. You can quickly switch on the correct headlight here as you need it when you're driving. When we have filled the machine, we have personal protective equipment and gloves which we need to store somewhere while we're working in the fields, because we need these accessories when we fill the tank in the field. As our cab is Category 4 certified, we have a stowage compartment here where work clothes and protective gloves can be stowed. The seal ensures that no dirt gets in. But we do need to wash our gloves and hands, of course, so we have integrated a soap dispenser and water into the steps. Everything is where you need it. For example, when filling the tank. Crop protection products need to be transported on the field for filling. This is why we have a drawer here in which you can carry sufficient crop spray for the job. The 3-liter measuring cup shows just how much space is available here. It is ideal for storing large canisters. On the other side we have more stowage space and, of course, the diesel and AdBlue tank. I'll show you that now. The diesel tank is easy to fill from the ground. With 310 liters and 50 liters AdBlue. There is another stowage compartment integrated into the diesel tank in which a toolbox can be safely stowed. For example, when your neighbor has a problem and you want to help him, there's still space to take along anything else you may need for working in the fields. This is our patented OptiRide suspension system. It ensures that any unevenness in the field is not transferred over the tires to the chassis. And what's special about that? Each wheel has its own independent suspension. This gives us an extremely stable chassis, which is the basis for a stable boom. We can also drive the machine at two different heights. In normal mode, the machine is driven at a height of 75 centimeters. This is fine for most conditions across the entire season. But if you have to treat oilseed rape bloom or control a plague of corn borers late in the season, you can raise the machine right up over the suspension cylinders. This gives you a ground clearance of 1.20 meters and you avoid damaging the late season oilseed rape or corn crops. What's very important is that we have a lot of parts and pivoting points, but it's all maintenance-free. There are no grease nipples that can be overlooked. It's all built so you don't have to worry about it. It's a proven design. The same applies to the track width adjustment which we have on this machine. It's hydraulically adjustable from a 1.80 meters to a 2.25 meter track width. This is also maintenance-free because the axles are built in such a way that no dirt can penetrate when you adjust the track width. It doesn't need greasing, as dust and dirt cannot penetrate and cause damage to the axles. Here we have our ground drive HydroStar CVT, which is a vario drive for hydrostatic machine. That means that we can control each wheel individually. How have we done this? The drive pump and each wheel motor can be variably adjusted. This gives us the advantage of always having the ideal power transmission to the ground. If there is drag, we would decelerate the wheel which is spinning. By doing this, we always have full power available on the other wheels. This keeps the machine moving even in very wet conditions. The disc brake is integrated together with the final drive, which we see here, so that it is fully protected even in wet conditions. This ensures that the machine acts as it should under any conditions, namely as a premium machine. If we have a look inside here, we can see just how compact the design is. Everything is integrated so that the crop is not damaged. As you can see, the wheel motor is fully integrated into the wheel leg, where the wheel is suspended. Another feature of our drive is the excellent tractive power. This allows a 16-ton trailer to be pulled, which is controlled, of course, by air brakes. Let's now go round to the rear and see what it looks like. When it comes to the tank, there are three options: 4,000, 5,000 or 6,000 liters, as you can see on this machine. The tanks are made from HDPE material, which is very strong, light and can be easily cast in various shapes. What we see here, for example at the front and back, are tanks which are fully adapted to the machine chassis. This gives us perfect 50-50 weight distribution at the front and back, as well as left and right, regardless of whether the tank is full or empty. This is, of course, also the key to the stability of the chassis and boom. Now let's have a look inside the tank. We see that there is no integrated baffle, because the shape of the tank makes this unnecessary. In addition, the tank can be cleaned very quickly and efficiently thanks to the design, the lack of baffles and the smooth surface. Here we are at the induction section of the Rogator. The design is a familiar one from the other components of the machine. In other words, it is clean, simple and efficient. If we take a look at the control panel, we can control everything from here, from the pump intake to the pressure side of the pump. At the top, we can control and adjust the automatic filling process. I can do everything either from here or from the cab. Here at the top, we can regulate the water supply to the induction hopper. The water supply for the wash hose reel is placed at the back of the machine, so that we can also clean the machine in the field. And the 5-way valve, which is very easy to use and allows me to control all this directly. At the bottom here we have the various connections. Here is the connection for the suction line and the connection for the return pump line, so that I can then pump out the liquid left behind in the tank into a storage when I get home. Here is the clean water tank fill connection and finally the pressure filter, which is only found here and not on the boom. As we can see, everything is nice and compact. All lines run here underneath. In other words, we have very little residue, so cleaning is much easier. We have also fitted our centrifugal pump here. We'll look at that in more detail a little later. First, let's have a look at the induction hopper. The size of the induction hopper, 60 liters volume and a suction capacity of 200 liters per minute or 33 kilograms, is designed to make it quick and efficient. Using the cyclone effect at the bottom inside the hopper, we can also use it for powders or salts. Like the normal tank, the induction hopper is also very smooth, allowing us to clean it quickly and efficiently. Now to the pump, which is actually difficult to see here, which is why we've put a separate pump here. As I mentioned, the pump is a centrifugal pump, but it's hydraulically driven. This is used to control the quantity of liquid fed to the boom. We don't therefore have a cut-off valve. If we drive faster, use section control or use VRC, variable rate control. This is done through the pump speed RPM in order that we can apply the right quantity as quickly as possible. Other benefits includes less wear, as only a few parts are installed in the rotor pump in contrast to the standard piston diaphragm pump. That is a huge advantage. Another advantage is that it generates a large volume, namely 785 liters a minute at 2.5 bar. On the center frame, one of the most important things about this machine is how it balances out the boom movements. It starts at this pivot point up here. This is a ball joint on which the whole boom rotates. Any movement that comes through the lift arm is dampened in all directions by the ball. How do we do that? Well, we have a cylinder here, which together with this rod slides into a different cylinder. This balances out every movement from every direction, and the boom feels hardly anything. We can show you exactly what it looks like. We now show how quickly the boom returns to its neutral position. It all happens without any active control. The great advantage of this is that there is no sensor that can break down and impair the stability of the boom. How does that happen? The entire boom and its weight distribution are designed so that no sensors are required to keep the boom stable. Together with a cylinder on the center frame, which I just showed you, that ensures such a high level of stability on the boom. Here you can see how the sprayer pump feeds into the center frame. Then we come to the distribution. It happens at 2 points on the left of the boom and on the right. And the spray product are also distributed in 2 places, so the boom is supplied at 4 different points. Then it is pumped down here, where we have another 4 distribution points, so that's a total of 8 points at which the boom is filled. How do we do that? Every part of the boom is filled from the left and right. This ensures that there is no pressure loss. It also results in a much higher spraying accuracy. What happens when you stop spraying? All the nozzles are off. The circulation tap turns on automatically and the product flows back into the tank. This ensures that the spray product in the boom are always in motion, leaving no residue to clog up the nozzles. This in turn results in significantly higher accuracy and application safety. Here we have our aluminium boom. The big advantage of using aluminium is that it is stainless and very light at the same time. The advantage of the low weight is the stability. Something else that provides high stability is the trapezium-shaped design, as you can see here. This also gives direct protection to the nozzle, with a bar at the front and back. This is important for safety in field use, so that the nozzle never comes into contact with the crop. Of course, there are different nozzle sizes. This one here is a small one. When using longer nozzles, you can adjust the spray pipe height so that even long nozzles are always protected by the boom structure. Thanks to the 25 mm spray pipe along the entire boom, we can spray large volumes at a reasonable speed. And the single nozzle circuit ensures there is minimal overlap at the highest possible levels of precision. This is one of our optisonic sensors. There are 3 or 5 of them on the boom. The big advantage of these sensors is that we can always keep the booms at the ideal height. And that means we always hit the right target area. As you can see now, one side of the boom is parallel to the ground, while the other side is raised. This works in 2 directions, both in the positive and negative. And this machine has an independent geometrical adjustment system. This is standard with the Rogator. The variable geometry allowing positive and negative angles.